With all that being said, why should Australians care? In 2014, I personally heard a police sergeant in Perth ask, "The Chinese are giving us all this money. Why should we hate the Chinese?" That was the attitude most Australians had toward the Chinese. However, due to the persecutions in Hong Kong and the recent outbreak of the Wuhan coronavirus, Australians are beginning to see China's true nature. When Prime Minister Morrison showed compassion for Hong Kong protesters by offering sanctuary, and when he suggested that an international inquiry be made into how the Wuhan coronavirus was propagated to the rest of the world, China sought to punish Australia through economic sanctions on Australian exports. When the Australian government refused to kowtow to these pressures, the Chinese Communist regime threatened Australia with long-range missiles. If the Australian government chose to ally with Taiwan and the US in standing up to China. But these threats and bullying tactics by China to Australia could be traced much further back. When Australian swimmer Mac Horton called out the Chinese swimmer Sun Yang for being a drug cheat and refused to stand with Sun Yang on the same podium, Chinese trolls harassed Mac Horton and his family online. When a lecturer at the University of New South Wales said something about Taiwan that the Chinese overseas students didn't like, the Chinese forced the university to fire the lecturer. When the Australian Union student Drew Pavlo stood up for Hong Kong students at the University of Queensland, the children harassed him and had the university kicked him out. Basically, what China wants is to turn Australia into another Chinese colony in order to control the Indo-Pacific region. If Australians bow down to the Chinese, you will no longer be the master of your own country, because the Chinese will use the same measure to make sure Australians comply with Chinese demands. For example, they could employ economic sanctions on Australia for electing a government that the Chinese don't like, or because the government made policies that the Chinese don't like, or because government officials associated with people that the Chinese don't like. We are here, this Milk Tea Alliance, because we all have grievances with the Chinese, who threaten us for daring to say no to them. I hereby invite Australians to join us, because only together do we have the power to declare to the Chinese, we will not be silent, we will put up a fight, we will not be coerced against our will and obey the demands. For if we don't, then yesterday's Tibet, today's Hong Kong, tomorrow Australia. Thank you.